Hi, it's Carl here, and in this video I'll be giving you my essential winter hints and tips. Please watch through to the end because just one of these might help save your Japanese maples. Hi there maple fans, and in this series of videos I'll be sharing what I do throughout an entire year on a monthly basis. Please note that these months are based on UK timings, but of course can easily be adapted to anywhere else in the world. So I thought we'd just go back to May this year, just have a look at how my trees were. In this one they've not long leafed out, it's shortly after the spring in the UK, and this is how they look. So this is Shayna, and we'll come back to Shayna, how she looks now. But I think the big lesson here is that these trees need to see a growth cycle of summer, winter, spring, autumn, etc., and that's really, really important. So this is Twombly's Red Sentinel in the summer, very lush, amazing tree. But the point I'm making is that if they don't see the normal sort of pattern of the seasons, these trees won't do very well at all. So one thing to do in the winter is certainly not to be tempted to bring them indoors, or ideally just leave them in the position they're already in, because that's what they're used to. They've done well all year, and then as the years progress, if the trees are doing well where they are, well, just leave them there. I am of course talking about UK climate. If you're in very, very cold conditions, and of course that's a more extreme scenario, but generally speaking, in many areas of the world, they do really well outdoors, and that's where they live and that's where they should be. So moving on to the autumn now, just showing you the progression, I suppose. What I would say, some people say on the internet, well, the thing to do is to wrap the pots in some insulation, some fleece or whatever. Honestly, I don't see that making a lot of difference. I mean, maybe if there's a very, very harsh frost for one night, maybe so. But at the end of the day, if these things are left out for days and days in very cold conditions, and we are talking like below probably -6 and stuff like that, so a bit of fleece wrapped around a pot isn't really going to work, because the whole root system of the tree will get very, very cold. So in those extreme conditions, you probably will have to bring them into somewhere a little bit warmer. But don't forget, if you move them away from rain basically and put them, say, in a garage or something, or a conservatory, then the problem is you'll have to make sure you water them periodically, because they mustn't dry out completely. So regards moisture levels during the winter, if you've used a fairly free draining compost and the base of the pot is raised up or on pebbles like mine, so the drainage hole is free, I just never worry about how much it rains, to be honest with you. When they're dormant, they're very, very durable. Rain, they seem very toughened to rain. It's actually next spring that's the problem. When they leaf out, they kind of lose that dormancy, and then the roots can rot quite easily. So I certainly wouldn't be repotting this side of the new year and the spring, really. I know some people say, well, it's an ideal opportunity to repot these trees because they are dormant. But why put a load of soggy compost round the tree and just add to a potential problem next season? Also, the new compost is going to be full of lovely nutrients that you paid for. Over the winter, the rainwater is just going to wash that away. So my massive tip really is to, yes, repot while they're dormant by all means, but in this country leave it till early March, or in other words, just before they come out of dormancy. I think that makes a lot more sense, and then the root system of the tree can rapidly grow into that new compost and just do a lot better, really. Just worth adding, and I've said this on other videos, but it's a really good tip for those who are unaware. Another thing is as well that if the roots of these trees are wrapped around the pots, that's a really good situation to be in. That provides its sort of own insulation. If the outer roots get a little bit damaged by frost, then the bulk of the roots and the root ball are actually protected inside. So that's come from a grower I use, to be honest, and that's what they swear by. So that's why, as we'll see later in the video, I haven't deliberately repotted some of my trees. If they're slightly pot bound, but they're not, they love actually having a tight root ball, then that's absolutely fine and will just pay dividends. So what I'd be doing is repotting in the spring, letting the new roots grow to fill the new pot, and so on and so forth, really. Hence, you just need to make very small adjustments to the pot size. Don't overpot them, don't pot them on too quickly. This will actually improve the health of the trees, and they'll just grow and a lot quicker and be really, really healthy. So what you can see there is me just cleaning away, and I'll prune away sort of any encroaching branches from other trees. That includes other Japanese maples. Why? Because the action of the wind will rub against the branches and can damage them. So that's something I've kind of seen before. We'll see later in the video I've actually huddled some together, but again we just need to make sure that the branches don't overlap and rub against each other, because you might get sort of bald patches on the bark and damage will be caused. Just noting as well, what I'm showing you here is there's lots of lovely buds on this tree. This is absolutely great. This shows it's healthy. They're all ready to launch into new leaves next spring, which is brilliant. Just clearing a little bit of the leaf litter off there. I don't mind this too much, and I certainly don't want to remove all the bark that's on top, because again it's a little bit of protection. On the other hand, I'm just making sure that there's no leaf matter sort of wrapped around the base of the tree there, because where those roots turn into the stem of the tree, that can kind of rot. So obviously the stem's not supposed to be soaked in water. That just sort of protects the stem from any problems. So one of my favourites here, Shishigashira, just trying to show you there that the new growth is very obvious on this particular cultivar. Sometimes it isn't, but you can see the little red branches at the end. And yes, it would be too late now, but this is another good reason you would never feed your trees beyond, I'd say, September, October, sort of autumn basically in the UK. And that's simply because you don't want this new growth to grow on too much. That's had a little bit of chance to harden off as the winters progressed and got colder. It has been quite frosty in the UK, and there hasn't been any damage to this tree at all. So that's a really good sign. If it grows on too soon, then you get sort of whitening of the branches, the little branches, and that unfortunately is dieback, and that won't really survive. So if you do get a little bit of dieback, and some cultivars are more subject to this than others, don't worry about it. I wouldn't touch it now at all. I think once the winter's come and gone, it will go very, very white and quite brittle, and then we can snip it away and trim it off next season, just before it leaves out really, which will conceal the cuts you've made. So I'm just having a little tidy up there. There's a conifer there that's fallen over, so that would cause problems because no rainwater is going to get to the top of it and it's going to dry out. So again, excess moisture, not a problem, but they mustn't dry out completely. That's really, really important. And just to say, if you'd like to come with me on my Acer journey, please do like and subscribe to my little channel. It really, really helps. I've also recently set up a Patreon site, so that's a great way of supporting me too, and help out with some of the costs of my excursions really. There's also the offer of some personal help, if you'd like it, either in a group format or on a one-to-one basis. So while we're there looking at trees that are in their kind of second, third, fourth and plus years of growth since I've had them, those trees have hardened off. If you mollycoddle the trees too much and protect them overly, they'll never really get hardy, and then a bad frost will really have problems. Don't get me wrong, some cultivars will never become fully sun tolerant, they'll never become that great in cold, but they will all get better. So on the other hand, I've got these little trees here that are the ones I bought in the spring, if you watch that video. So what I've just done is pop them down on the ground so they're away from wind. And as you can see, I've used there's some grass that needs desperately trimming, but that'll serve a purpose. There's some conifers, etc., to form some sort of soft barrier around them. And the reason that's important is, you know, the wind, the weather itself probably won't get down to below -2 or 3 here in the UK, but with massive wind chill, it might get a lot colder. And again, these are little trees; they haven't got much development, they haven't been hardened off that well. It is their first winter after all. So just popping them down there out of the wind a little bit and giving them some shelter, I think for the sake of 10 minutes work can only bear dividends really. As you can see, I've been quite careful to place them in a certain way so that the branches don't overlap, I've already mentioned. And they can sit there quite happily until the spring. I've left them in their technical pots, I've surrounded them in those little trays with some pebbles, loads of drainage. Yes, water's not really a problem, but you want it to drain off thoroughly because that's really, really helpful. So just reflecting here quickly how, again, sort of soft landscaping really helps. Fences, walls, corners just make things worse. The wind whistles round and over them, don't really provide any protection at all. Whereas if you've got some sort of bamboo, you've got some conifers, stuff like that, it's great in the summer because it protects from warm winds, but it also is great in the winter because it protects from cold ones. So there's the Twombly Red Sentinel we saw earlier I mentioned. Looks totally different now, but really rather interesting. And some cultivars just look their best in the winter, so because it's got quite cold, the yellow colour of this Baihu's really come out. So again, no problem leaving them where they are. I can see a little bit of dieback on some of those. It happens, not to worry. and we'll trim those off in the spring. So perhaps it's a strange piece of advice, but certainly here in an 8B region in the UK, which covers a lot of Europe and North America, best thing to do with these trees is leave them be. Yes, protect the little ones a little bit because that really can't do any harm. But generally speaking, they have to have a life cycle that moves through the seasons. If you bring them indoors, put them in a garage and then forget to water them, you could actually kill them. So don't overprotect them. They are lovely, but in that instance, it's really the next spring that we need to be watching for.